Look honestly at where attention goes, to what can be owned, to what can be achieved, to what can be accumulated, to what can be defended, to what can be passed on. Money, property, status, success, belief, religions, ideologies, even this body. Life trains attention outwards from the beginning. Get more, become more. Secure yourself, protect what is yours, leave something behind. This movement is so normal that it is never questioned. But notice something simple. Everything attention clings to exists in time. What exists in time changes, and what changes cannot belong to anyone permanently. A person builds wealth, the wealth may remain, gold may remain, property may remain, but the one who claimed it does not. For the one who identified with it, its value collapses the moment ownership ends. Not because the object disappears, but because the owner does. Value was never in thing, it was in the identification. A person achieves success, title remains, buildings remain, records remain, but the achiever ages, weakens, is replaced, is forgotten. History is full of kings, empires, conquerors, leaders who once seemed untouchable. Nothing was wrong with what they built. What failed was the assumption that what was built could secure the builder. This is also true of belief. Religions are protected, ideas are defended, people are willing to fight, kill, die for concepts, not because the concepts are alive, but because identity is attached to them. The belief promises meaning, security, continuity, but ask quietly, without accusation, when death comes close, not as theory but as fact. Does belief remove fear? When a child suffers, when a body breaks, when loss arrives, does doctrine carry you through untouched? If not, then belief was never addressing reality, it was addressing anxiety about reality. The same pattern appears everywhere. The body is admired, maintained, protected, feared for, yet the body ages regardless, illness arrives regardless, death is not negotiated. Fear was never about the body, fear was about identity believing it was the body. Notice the structure now. Attention moves outward to things that can be measured, counted, named, compared, and what cannot be measured cannot be owned, cannot be defined, is ignored, even though it never changes. Not because it is distant, but because it offers nothing to possess. What cannot be defined does not age. What cannot be defined does not accumulate. What cannot be defined does not improve or decline. It does not gain value, it does not lose value, it does not belong to anyone. And yet everything that changes appears within it. The misunderstanding is subtle. Life was never wrong, success was never wrong, wealth was never wrong, religion was never wrong. The error was believing that what changes could secure what does not. The error was mistaking temporary arrangements for permanent ground. This is why suffering persists. Not because life is cruel, but because attention keeps investing in what cannot last and ignoring what never lives. When this is seen clearly, nothing needs to be rejected. Money can remain, property can remain, beliefs can remain, the body can remain. But the illusion of ownership dissolves. The illusion that this defines me falls away. And with it, the fear that depended on that belief as well. Nothing mystical happens, nothing dramatic occurs. Life continues, work continues, relationships continue, but the urgency ends. The desperation to secure oneself through things, ideas, or future outcomes quietly dissolves. What cannot be defined takes its rightful place, not as an object or pursuit, but as the unmoving background in which all pursuit appears. Not gained, not achieved, not protected, simply no longer overlooked. And in that, nothing is lost except the misunderstanding that was never real to begin with. Breath continues, sight continues, the heart continues to beat. Everything claimed, everything built, everything achieved still moves, still fades, still changes. And even if the breath stops, even if the sight fades, even if the heart ceases, and yet something remains unchanging, unclaimed, unthreatened. Now, which side do you choose?